This is Shawn, and today we are talking about purchasing. Maybe we are 6 months to a year out, maybe a year and a half. It's never too early to start planning for your move now. When you're thinking about buying in the near future, it's always best not to wait till the last minute. And so the point of this video is to talk about the things that we can do way in advance to start preparing for that move and that purchase that are going to be so helpful instead of waiting till the last minute. First thing you want to do is you want to talk to a lender, because you might learn by talking to a lender and talking about, if I was to get a loan right now, and these are the kind of home or price range that I'm considering, you're going to be checked by the lender to find out if you're on the right page or not. And you can learn things like, maybe you've been filing your taxes in a way that is not going to work for you to get your loan, or you need to file them in a different way, or you need to plan in the way that you keep your records, or what you do every month to month that's going to change what kind of loan you can get and make it possible for you to get one or not. So that's much better to know up front so that I can make these adjustments. Sometimes you need to make those adjustments a year or two in advance, so be aware of that. So it's never too early to start talking to the lender now and learn about those things, and that will also help you to define, hey, in this sales price range, which after talking to the lender, I know what that's going to kind of translate into in a monthly payment, that I'm going to be able to afford this range, and I'm not just assuming it, because now we're looking at all these homes, and if it doesn't match the kind of financials that we need on a month-to-month basis, you're kind of wasting your time. So these are things that way up front are going to be extremely helpful. So outside of the loan, we want to start thinking about things related to the area you want to move. I've always been, for 25 years, recommending that you want to consider area first, house second. You don't want to do the reverse. You don't want to start looking at houses you love, but you never want to live there. So it's also very important for investments. The quality of your investment also determined by the quality of the decision you made first on the area, and then the home, right? So related to the area, what is it about the area that you're gonna move? So usually people move for reasons like, hey, they're worried about schools, or the kids are becoming of age, or they're downsizing because they're coming from the suburb and the kids have moved out and they want to move into the city where they're close to walk to things, right? So these might be some of the reasons that area is important. Now, when you're considering area, some things you want to be considering is related to flooding. Is there flooding in the areas that you're considering? Now, there's two types of flooding to be aware of. One of them can come from talking to people or neighbors in the area, say on a weekend, on a Saturday, that you can uncover. And this is the difference between a 100-year floodplain, which we're all aware of, but what we don't realize is that half of the flooding in Houston is actually from flash flooding. What that means is that when we have the heaviest downpours of rain, such as during special storms like Harvey or tax day floods, the water is not actually leaving fast enough before it gets in, some of it gets in the houses. That's flash flooding. And the only real reason that you're gonna find out about that is if you talk to some neighbors in the area or the neighborhoods that you are planning to move to and say, hey, where did you see the water during these Harvey or tax day floods? And that's going to tell you if you need to worry about flash flooding in the area that you're considering. Related to schools, if you start early and start talking to people that live there now, maybe friends that you plan to live around, that sort of thing, you might learn about schools that are not so well known yet. Like here in the city, we're in the Heights, and Travis and Harvard have been two elementary schools that people have known about for a very long time. But with a little conversation, talking to some of the neighbors, it was 5 years before people well known about Field Elementary School. And Field Elementary School was a great school for a long time. If you talk to some of the parents, that everybody was kind of planning for, even before it was widely well known, like Harvard and Travis Elementary, for example. So timing, one thing you want to consider is you're about 40 days once you find a house to close, average closing time. You want to consider that related to your timing of your move. As always, you never want to think about the things and plan around things that you cannot control and you're never going to know about. Two major ones. This is the interest rates. When are they going to come down and be right for my move? You're never going to plan that. None of us are that smart. The other one is when the market shifts are going to be better, and it's going to be better because there's tons of inventory for me to pick up when I want to purchase. It's not going to work like that. So start planning around the reasons that you're really going to move, and start planning way ahead so that you can get things figured out way before you're starting to pick the house, okay? So hope that's helpful. And by the way, you want to drive the areas too. Drive the neighborhoods, drive street by street, and you're going to learn some things way before you start actually doing the house shopping. I hope that helps, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks so much.